Hi, it's Faces Tech. I think I've finally made the last version of this mod. It is basically, if you haven't seen the other ones, it is a RetroPie build in a Game Boy Color shell. If you go back to the beginning, we had this one, which was basic Game Boy Color buttons, that's it. Very basic, speaker, wired up piezo speaker, horizontal screen, very small. And then it upgraded to a newer version, ABXY, LNR on the back, upgraded to an amp, had a few other bells and whistles thrown in. Quite nice, but they all suffered from having a split PCB. Basically, when I originally made this, I think back in 2019, pre-COVID, the board costs for a over 100mm board were just too much, and also it gave me the option to refab one or the other instead of refabbing everything. So I kind of stuck with having a two-piece design. You had to solder it together somehow. Kind of my major pain in the arse, major bugbear, just eating at me. So I thought I'm going to have to make the ultimate one, which is this, which comes on a single PCB. Yep, single PCB, which is great. I'll talk you through some of the other things that I was going to do in this project that I didn't do. Firstly, I was going to have a fully laminated screen, which would have been amazing. Homebrew laminated screen. I've seen some people doing them, so I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. But to do that, I needed to have a connector on the board, because if you remember previously on other ones, where I basically just solder the ribbon straight to the board, which is okay. But for this, to use these ISP shells, you need to have the screen disconnected from the motherboard. You can't add it all together, all in one piece, which is a major pain. So I basically needed a connector. I did find a connector. This is a really weird pitch connector. This is an 18-pin 0.08 of a mil, which is, if it had been 1 mil, you could have got these connectors coming out of the wazoo. Because it's 0.8 mil 18-pin connector, I just could not get them. When I did find one, it was basically wanted to accept a thicker ribbon than this. So it basically had a little spacer, little 3D printed spacer that you went in, which worked. It did get an active screen, it was good, but when I put it all together, this is the PCB I got ordered for it. Basically, it was not enough space between for the screen and the PCB to fit in the shell. So sadly, we did not get a homebrew laminated screen. Anything else that I wanted to do, I did do. I basically had multi-use pads. We've got these because the gold coating has become so cheap. I think it's like £24 for me for 5 boards at this thickness. Whatever, it's pretty cheap. Before it was astronomically expensive, but now you can get it pretty cheap, so it's quite doable. So I had these pads, which are the same pads as before, but I've also added the clicky buttons, which is the same clicky buttons I use on my DS Lite mod, which is the same clicky buttons that are in like a DS Fat or a GBA SP. So you can have them on the all these buttons have them, including your XY, which before had these like soft touchy buttons. But you can also have the soft touchy buttons, and you can have the clicky buttons. So everything is pretty much, you can kind of do whatever you want, really. Because before with this, with the crappy non-gold coating, it would basically come, you couldn't use the buttons after a while because of the corrosion. So that solved it. I just wanted the clicky ones on this. And if you can listen, I got them as clicky, and I got the start and select as clicky. But it's a nice click. It's not like an obnoxious click. Like I think these are the horrible clicky ones that I had in my original, which are horrible, dead loud. But yeah, it's got pretty much the same. These are pretty much the same, apart from, like I say, the PCB is now one, and we've got optional buttons, because since everyone loves these like clicky-ish buttons in the builds, still got the same. I'll go fire it up actually. I've still got the same LEDs around there if you want. So to turn them off. But everything is pretty much the same. We've got the same cut out. This is an ISP shell that I got to try out, which works with all this. It's slightly less trimming. The original shell, if you don't know, has you have to do a little bit of trimming on the front, because basically the ISP shells have like all the front cut out, don't they? So that's a little bit less to do there. And then at the back there's just the same sort of cut out to do, and the buttons and stuff. But it's not that much really. It's, you know, it's fairly manageable. But yeah, this has got a Raspberry Pi 02 in it. But yeah, it runs the same, exactly the same, but it's just kind of nicer now. Now when I get it out of the box to play on it, my buttons will actually work, especially the start and select. For some reason them start and select buttons were just horrible, they just never worked. But yeah, it's got the volume, single speaker, it's got the power down here, which is just about to run out. Around the back, LNR's there as usual. It's got a little battery in there. I was gonna hollow out this bay. As well as nice, the ISP bays are actually empty. There's no like middle slot piece like these come with, so you have to kind of sometimes hollow them out, which is nice. I think it was like a Funky Player one. There's actually a glow-in-the-dark shell. I didn't realise when I bought it, but it was. So it's got the USB-C charging, which is USB-C to USB-C. But yeah, it's just an all improvement all over. So you don't have to tack your boards together. I'm sorry about that. I must apologise. But yeah, it's pretty much. Let's put it in charge. Will it actually charge? I can't remember if it turns. No, it does actually charge and plays at the same time. I couldn't remember. But yeah, everything else is pretty much the same. As always, I'm gonna release the files for this non-commercial license. You know, just go ape really. Just it should just be everything is exactly the same. If you've built one of these before, you'll know what you're doing. It is exactly the same. Everything. I virtually swapped all this stuff over from an existing board. So if you want to upgrade your board to a newer one, I basically took everything, the whole lot off my old one. Actually, I've done it twice because I put it onto this one. This one was with the dodgy connector on it, and then also transplant into this, so you can actually a few times. That screen's probably been in about 3 or 4 boards, so they are quite they're robust, I should say. But yeah, as always, the link in the description, blog post with probably more information. I don't think I'm gonna do a build guide, but yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.